died because of the other one it's a beautiful computer, except the power port died. And I just got that for $123, put the hard drive in from the other computer, and that one just shit the bed.
People of Earth, what you're listening to is our fucking tech advisor, Joe.
HP blows. Now, where is that little computer that you had over there? I hate not having a computer
right here
in front of me. No. You usually have a little one.
That gets used at my house.
Does it?
Yeah, it's up. You know what? I'll bring that back. I got to get another one for the house. I want to get a Mac. Not a Mac. I want to get an Apple because I want to start fucking around with GarageBand for some shit.
You can't use GarageBand on Windows?
You know, I don't know. I don't even know. I thought that just comes with it, and that's a multi-track recording, and it's kind of like
you can type it in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Does GarageBand come with? Can you get GarageBand on Windows?
Yeah. So anyway, people of Earth, how are you? My name is Al. Across the table for me is Joe. As you can tell, he's as loony as ever. And also across the other way, to my left, on our beautiful home base shaped table here.
Yes, which has been repaired.
The return of
hasn't been buffed out yet, though.
The return of my dad, Al Sr., or Pops. We call him Pops here on Kinda Right.
We missed him, too.
And we missed you, Dad. How you doing?
Good. Good to be back.
It's really nice that you came here. Now, the reason why I asked Dad specifically to come tonight was, A, I missed having him. And I knew if I had a special reason, he would show up. And I did it under the auspices of it being my friend Joe's 55th birthday today.
Yeah, but that's not a special occasion.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Why, thanks.
I hope you had a good day.
I did. I had a wonderful day.
Yeah. Did your wife give you an extra hug today, or did she remember that it's your birthday? Or
well, no, I didn't remember it was my birthday.
Yeah, right.
She did. She is up at the her two nieces, grandnieces actually, but we don't confuse them with that because these are her.
I remembered your birthday, buddy.
These are her nephew's kids. Oh, you're the best.
Everybody likes birthday presents. I want you to tell your Patty story, but I figured I'd do a good
Oh, my
segment.
God.
Can you? And
how did you know?
Everybody needs another set of tie downs.
This is a great gift.
Of course it is.
For the guy that has
I'm a great gift giver.
I was thinking that I had to go buy some more ratchet tie downs today.
Can you imagine? I read his mind.
Thought today.
Wait till he sees the rest of his gift.
What else some headbands?
There's the dress ones. They're the same color as your terry cloth ones, but headbands and wristbands. I figure you try the wristband next time.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a whirl.
And it's just for fun. There's a basketball.
We'll keep that right on the Kinda Right table here.
I told you I was going to get you a squeeze ball so you're not...
Yeah.
So I don't fuck with things over here?
Yeah, well, with the cord. So
I should play with my own balls, don't you think?
I often do play with my own. I was going to say I often do, but I didn't want to infer that I play with your balls. So Patty and her grandnieces, what now?
They went up, and they're at the Boston Harbor Islands. They went on
the cruise.
They go on a ferry. They take you out there. It's actually pretty neat. And there's a lot of those islands, and they used to be very active. They had a loony bin out there, and there's a fort from like the Civil War.
Right.
All kinds of shit. Have you been out?
Years and years ago when I was working in Southie.
When I started dating Patty, she took me out there and I thought it was pretty wild. There's an island that nobody goes to, but has a shitload of houses and shit still on it. Like so, but nobody goes to it. You're not supposed to, but they're guessing that there's people out there. I don't know. How would you live, though?
Right.
You know, on the island.
But
it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat out there. I find it pretty neat myself.
Couldn't be any worse than living on the sidewalk.
Well, at least on the sidewalk, you can go and hop in a dumpster and get some food and shit from a restaurant. Whereas out on the island, I think you'd have to be hunting squirrels and shit.
Hunting wabbit.
While freezing.
Yeah, give me that pen. Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
So that's where they are today.
Yep.
And I got to be honest with you.
Did she work?
Huh?
Did she work?
Who?
Or they've been there all day? Pat.
No. She's had them all week.
Oh, I got you. Now I understand. Okay.
This weekend, she had her brother and his two sons down.
Yeah.
because she's trying to I can never say this word. Compartmentalize. I don't know. I have trouble with that word. And so instead of the whole family, she had her brother, his 2 kids, their 3 kids combined. Her nephew John has 1, and Eric has 2, and their wives. And that was a wonderful little scene. So the 2 girls have been with us for the whole week. And
did you already tell us how old they are?
7 and 9.
Oh, my God.
7 and 9.
That's crazy.
And you know something? I thought that this was going to be one of those weeks that I dreaded.
Right.
I've had more fun with these kids.
Of course.
Around. They're just like...
Everybody needs a crazy Uncle Joe.
They're fun. And I told them last night, we went to the... Brielle, who was the 9-year-old, wanted to go to the Texas Roadhouse. So we went out last night. And both she and... Now, I like Brielle, but I also like Emmy, the younger one, because she's got that evil, mischievous things. They painted my toenails when I was sleeping.
Oh, yeah, that's a little kid
that's
thing.
wonderful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said to the 2 of them, Uncle Joe, how come you don't get in the pool and throw us? And I said, well, the last time I was throwing little girls around in the little pool, I ripped one of their arms off.
that put an end to that.
Well, now I don't know how old you are when you pick up sarcasm, but they ain't at that age.
Oh, they were horrified.
And they're like, really? Which arm? Does it really matter? So now I'm Uncle Fibber because I had to tell them that it wasn't true.
Oh.
But they actually believed that I threw a child and ripped their arm off. Although, you know something? And this is unfortunate because it's the state of our fucking world now. If there was a 9-year-old girl walking down the road in the middle of the winter at night on a desolate country road,
You'd have to drive right by her.
I'd be driving right by.
That's right.
That kid's going to fucking freeze.
Yep.
Because you just know you're going to pick the kid up and you're going to go to jail.
Yep.
And isn't that horrible?
If I don't figure out what the fuck is shaking, I'm going to fucking have a fit.
It's probably me.
It is. It's your bass. What? Even look at your bass. Why is it doing that?
I don't know. It's on a... All right.
Why is everything you
are
touch
you better?
turned to shit?
Are you better?
Yeah, I'm fine, man.
All right. So I even have about the nieces, you know, I even have the, you know,
You heard it, right?
you're in the pool, you throw the kid, and
Much
you
better,
know,
by the way.
the kid gets home and says, you know, Uncle Joe was throwing me, and he was kind of touching me in my, you know, in the parts you told me that I shouldn't be.
coolie.
And I'm like, Jesus, you know, I don't even need that.
Yeah.
But
So-
your pool got used this week.
Yeah, damn straight.
Did it get vacuumed at any time?
Well, it's up to Patty cleans the pool. She reminds me to put the chlorine pucks in.
Yeah.
Other than that, I am out of the pool
That's
business.
fine.
I open it and
And
close it.
And she got to maintain it.
I guess I'm not going to build a deck
Maintain it.
over it this year, but
Poor Patty.
next year. That's how I decided.
You know anybody who can do that kind of woodworking?
Well, if I don't do it soon, it's not going to be me. That's for sure. I went down to work yesterday, and it was 87, 88 degrees and humid.
And 74% humidity, by the way.
And I get outside,
Icky.
and I walk around, and I pick a few things up. And I'm winded to the point where I feel like I'm going to pass out and fall down.
I'm with you, man.
So
You know what that's called? Arteriosclerosis.
well,
That's
you
what
know,
that
but
is.
I had an what is it? An EKG,
Oh, you're all right?
and apparently I'm okay. It's just I'm probably like
I don't
wildly
think-
out of shape.
I don't think. Well, yeah, they call that deconditioned.
I mean, I
That's the official word.
I am not out working every day.
Yeah.
I don't have any kind of exercise routine. I have
don't-
no cardio routine whatsoever.
Yeah.
So-
you got to do cardio, man.
I have a sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah. Me too.
But I'll tell you something.
I really need to get back to the gym. Like, you can quit drinking and eating all you want. You're gonna hit a plateau, and then you gotta move. You gotta move.
Well, I'm trying to get back out and working a little bit.
And by the way, it ain't the 30 minutes that they tell you. You got to move for an hour and a half.
Well, I think just moving around, period.
Yeah.
Outside. And I'm trying to do that.
I'm not talking about going for a walk either. I'm talking about strenuous exercise or work.
But, so I go there yesterday, and the whole thing, it's been so fucking hot. The guys have been down there working. I had an electric trench that was wide open. It's been there for 2 weeks, ready to be backfilled.
Yeah.
And I haven't been down there to backfill it. And I didn't think that it was in their way, but this week
Apparently the house is burning down.
Pause.
We're going to take a quick break.
If it's not working.
Yeah, so the place isn't burning down, it turns out.
Are we back?
Yeah. We're back, man.
Nothing's burning.
That's fine. It is what it is, you know?
So at any rate, I had my little track loader going.
Yeah.
And it started to smell really bad. And then there was smoke coming out of it. So I said, I better drive this over to where I park
I
it.
could have sworn I've heard this story before.
And it had melted the oil cap. Like, you know how the oil cap's got threads on it?
Sure.
It was all like jagged and hanging down. And there was no coolant in it. But I didn't destroy the motor. So I was very happy about that.
Good.
Or at least, you know what, so far, it's probably badly damaged and it will blow up soon.
Right.
But the motor's good. So that was something saved. And I got the trench backfilled, and there you go.
So, do you read the local papers at all? We don't talk about much local news, but I found an interesting story
Go ahead.
the other day. A Duxbury man, and by man I mean a 20-year-old kid,
Yeah.
it got arrested for and arraigned for child pornography charges in Duxbury.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this one?
No.
And he's a child himself. And what started it is
What do you mean he's a child himself?
he's 20 and he looks like a baby. That's what I'm saying. His mugshot looks like a 14-year-old. But apparently it all started because he took pictures of girls who were under 16 and posted them on the internet.
Okay.
So
When and why?
recently,
Anybody know why?
because he wanted to show his, on social media, he was showing his friends pictures of pretty young girls. So that's how he got,
That's considered child.
well, no. Then they fucking came and took his computer and found a bunch of kiddie porn on it.
Oh.
But I'm saying the way he didn't get arrested. You know what I mean? He obviously wanted to get caught. He's taking pictures of 14-year-old girls in skirts or whatever. Put it on social media, and someone found out about it. Say, hey, this kid's fucking. They came, took his computer, and found a bunch of.
So if you take a picture,
real
not
kiddie
of a
porn.
14-year-old, but say you take a pic, you're in front of the Vatican.
Yeah.
You take a picture, or say you're in Plymouth, in front of the Rock. You're taking a picture, and there happens to be a 14-year-old girl there, and you put it up. Is that the same thing?
I don't know. But he specifically
Are you posting a picture of a
he
14-year-old girl.
specifically took pictures of them because he was titillated by them. And he fucking got himself all caught. You know what I mean? So, to me, that's like, I don't know, getting pulled over for the old taillight out and they found a couple kilos of coke in your trunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like you wanted to get caught, you idiot.
Well, it's like investigating our fine president, best president since Lincoln,
He makes
for
Lincoln look like a functioning retard.
Russian collusion, and then trying Paul Manafort for tax evasion and tax fraud from 10 years ago.
Because that $100 million or whatever is got to go to some good.
So, yeah, I don't like the police at all.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
You know, I was thinking about it, and Al says it every once in a while. But you know something? and I'm going through a little thing myself.
They're a bunch of
just-
self-aggrandizing, entitled
and
scum.
This fucking bullshit that they'll charge you for anything. If your neighbor says that, if they make it up, and they say, "Hey, this guy over here told me if he sees me out again, I'm gonna fucking kill him," they'll charge you. They love it. They just love to charge people.
Oh yeah,
Much like Bill Clinton loves
Yeah.
to fucking rape people.
not as much though.
They love charging.
They do love
just
charging.
love
There's no way they
charging.
can love it more than Bill
And
Clinton
you know what?
loves
Their
raping
whole
people.
existence is based on. But they're when an entity becomes it gets to the point where they're trying to make their existence. Do you follow what I'm saying? They're trying to keep their existence relevant. Now, not that you don't need the police, but for the bullshit that speech, getting charged for things of speech without threat is fucking crazy as far as I'm concerned. You know? But I don't know. If he didn't take the picture, how do I feel about if you have child pornography on your computer? I guess that's a bad thing. But it's a lot worse. It's not as bad as if you took the pictures. Is that a fair statement?
Took the child pornography pictures. Or
Right.
filmed it.
Meaning you found child pornography pictures.
Yeah.
Now, when we're child pornography, are we talking about like developed girls?
No, we're talking
that
about
are, that are young?
hairless, undeveloped girls and boys.
Like, but not
Prepubescent.
so 13, 12, 11,
no,
9.
no.
6, 9.
8, 9,
10.
10.
Yeah, all right. That's fairly disgusting.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess you shouldn't have shit like that.
No, and that is the ultimate. And we talk about this all the time. To me, more so than just killing somebody, if you have that, you don't know the difference between right and wrong. You don't know the difference between right and wrong. Now, you give pedophilias kind of a break because you say people are born that way, and I'm with you on that.
Well, I don't give them a
But
break.
still,
I give them.
They don't know the difference between
When I
right
was
and wrong.
when I first understood,
Much like myself, by the way.
you have to
I'm
be
not a
able to
pedophile,
put
but-
yourself back when you were a young boy, and you had these feelings that you didn't understand, but you'd look at a pair of tits and go, "Oh my God, that's," and you get your first boner and shit.
Tits are delicious.
And you didn't know what's going on. You know what I mean? But you looked at a very attractive woman or, somebody in a bikini and you got, that's, I believe that much like homosexuals, I believe they look at other people of the same sex and have the same feeling. And I believe that the pedophiles
Yeah, they can't
look
help
at young
themselves.
children and have the same feeling. Meaning, I don't think pedophiles are created. Now,
It's not a learned behavior.
I don't know that. I don't
It
know
could
whether
be.
that's
It
true
could be
or
a
not.
learned behavior. It could be a choice too. Just not really fucking getting
What do
that,
you think,
getting that
Big Al?
much.
Do you think it's biological? Do you think they're just
I think they're born that way, and I think it's far more pervasive than we're ever going to really find out.
Well-
However, I do not believe they should have their own stripe on the LGBTQT flag, which they're talking about.
Yeah, I heard they were trying to do
That
something.
came up last week with
But
me
I
and
don't
Joe.
think that
All right. Well,
no real
No, you're right.
no real person that's in that community wants that's criminal.
Because
That's criminal behavior.
unfortunately, homosexuals are stigmatized as being more potentially pedophiles, and they're not. We talk about white homosexual men. They're the fucking mass murderers. They're the fucking, they're the pedophiles and the fucking serial killers and
Yeah,
White
for
men.
some reason, white men are,
heterosexual men.
absolutely
white
Yeah,
men
yeah.
tend to be the guys that shoot up the schools
Yeah.
or shoot up, get in the fucking clock tower and start shooting people.
They also seem to earn the most money. I wonder if there's a connection there. I don't know.
I think there's just a shitload of white
There's
men.
a lot of white
No,
guys,
the
man.
ones pulling the trigger aren't. aren't all that well to do.
I'm not saying well to do, but I'm saying they got fucking stress. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This one day.
They're
everybody's got
just
fucking
burning off a
stress.
little stress. You got to talk a little bit closer, Dad, just a little.
Everybody's got
But
stress. You
there
don't-
is a big difference between having you can be horned out for kids all you want as long as you don't act
on it.
It's the day you act on it that's when you
Eventually, you're going
Cross
to
the
act
line.
on it if you don't go talk to someone about
No,
it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, really?
Listen, I got a friend who's 70 now, and I've known him for the better part of almost 40 years, and I know he's gay, and he's never once told me he's gay.
I didn't know Steve's that old.
No. It's Yanni, Steve's friend.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let me have a fireball in there and a beer, please. Please, while you're up.
What-
So,
What do you think about sniffing Joe Biden?
sniffing Joe, as far as
You've had to see videos of him with the little kids. You've
Oh,
had to.
What is he smelling, little kid? Oh,
I don't think he's a pedophile or anything.
But have you seen the pictures of him with little kids?
what does he smell the kids?
He's taken a. Oh, you got to look it up.
I always smell a little kid when I hug him too, though.
Yeah.
I smell everyone when I hug them.
Remember how good babies smelled?
Man, they do smell good.
Babies
Miles smells
smell
good.
awesome.
When Miles gives you a hug, don't you smell the top of his head?
Of course I do.
So is that what you're
But he's
talking
my
about?
grandson.
Sniffing Joe. Oh yeah, hold on.
Close that door. would you?
When you're paying, when you're hosting 2 or 3 families for a photo shoot, you don't take the 9-year-old girl, put your hands on her shoulders, and pull her over in front of you,
And then would he sniff his finger after that?
and then you keep your hands on her shoulders, and you're bending over and you're sniffing her hair, and
wow, I haven't seen that, Dad.
that's sick.
semi-disturbing.
I don't know if that.
Look
I
it
don't
up.
know.
Look it up.
You know something? I forget.
And it's not one occasion.
All right, hold on.
There's
and I have never.
there's hours of it.
I have not smelt this since. But when my daughter was a baby, there is this smell, and I believe you having 4 kids, you know what I'm talking about. It's just one of the best smells you'll ever smell, and it's from being a baby. Like her bedding and stuff smelled like this.
Right. It's not the baby powder. It's not the.
No, it's like because
it's an essence that she gives off. That
because
the
they're
child
eating
gives off.
totally healthy food or mother's milk
Right.
or something.
And
or-
it's something that nature gives them to help prevent you from killing them.
probably. Well, you'd think nature would stop them from screaming.
Yeah,
too.
there's a lot of him groping and smelling people.
Well,
Jesus
Educate
Christ, it's a whole
yourself.
thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And he's like the 2nd or 3rd contender for the 2020 election.
Good.
well,
He'll
you know,
lose
there's
too.
nothing wrong with being.
Of course he will.
Plagiarizing Joe. That'll come up immediately.
I don't know, man.
How that guy even got to
It's
be
going to be
buddies.
a weird
He
feeling.
seems like a good guy, and I feel bad that he lost his family and everything. And there is something kind of cool about
that guy
being
had,
an actual civil servant and being the least wealthy of not just like all senators, but like almost all congressmen. You know,
I have 2
he's
things.
wealthy now. Well, he's rich, he's not wealthy.
He was always the poorest senator in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Senate.
yeah.
Joe Biden lost his, I believe, a child and his wife in a car wreck.
Yeah. And then he lost his son to fucking cancer when he
that
was
was
in his late
relatively
30s.
recent. Now that is a horror show as far as I'm concerned.
it's
and he
the worst.
came back from that, so you got to give the guy some credit for
Yeah.
that. He's hard not to like. He's a good gaff guy. He puts his foot in his mouth a lot, but he talks a lot.
And he
And
did
the
tell
only thing
Barack Obama on mic, this is a big fucking deal when they introduced Obamacare. I mean, he gets points for that.
But you know something? He the one thing I didn't like that Joe Biden did, and I'll never forget it, is the Clarence Thomas thing.
Yeah.
They had an option of not bringing Anita Hill in, and it was sort of leaked by Joe Biden and company about the Anita Hill, and then that sort of forced them to bring it in. And I thought that was, at the end of the day, that was a pretty shitty thing to do, you know, because it still baffles me Because this woman obviously is intelligent. So one of them has to be lying. Now, he had so many character witnesses who worked in the same, the next office over to Anita Hill and said, Clarence would never do that. There was like 30 of those people that you have to kind of believe him. But there'll always be that little cloud over Clarence Thomas.
The first time I ever heard the word expeditiously used was by Clarence Thomas when he had a press conference. Oh, no, he was in front of the committee during his hearings. And he says, I want my reputation back, and I want it returned to me expeditiously. I had never heard that word. Can you imagine? And I was an English major, and it's a great word. I use it all the time. And every time I say the word expeditiously, I think of Clarence Thomas. By the way, he's a pretty good writer, too.
I didn't like that.
He's a huge cock.
Did you read that in Anita's memoirs?
Yeah.
No.
Did she put a book out? Did you read it?
No. Just busting.
I don't read anything, so.
She said she couldn't get her mouth around it. Whatever that means.
But then again, she still insists that that's what happened. But could you be that calculating to just not want somebody like that on the bench so bad that you just fabricate everything? And I guess maybe you could.
I think you could.
If you're a real true believer, some of these people are they're true believers.
They're all over the place now.
Well, that fucking wacko. Usually, sort of upper.
Which one you talking about?
Well, you refer to the social justice warriors over here, trying to,
among other things,
trying to reel in speech that they don't like.
Yeah.
Everybody's a fucking racist now. It's just. But something? I think that's gonna go away.
I read something. I don't remember if it was earlier today or if it was yesterday. That if you are a man who is physically attracted to women and you refuse to date a woman who used to be a man, you're biased and you should be shunned.
Well, that's what they probably teach you at UMass.
Well, they were just trying to.
You're a sexist.
They just tried to pass something in Massachusetts here, in our wonderful state. Something to do with. There can be no. It's illegal. If I had my computer, I'd look it up, but it would be something like it's illegal to if you're a parent and your kid's a homosexual or he says he is, to bring him somewhere and have him counseled that he isn't, like gender, re-identification therapy or something. They were trying to make that illegal. Just another thing you need the cops involved in. Boy, I fucking hate the cops.
I'm not a fan, man.
I really hate the state police a lot. Now, I don't strongly dislike. I don't hate, because hate requires, a lot of emotion. I don't have that. But I'm very disillusioned.
You're not a fan.
No, you know what? I think it's just I would never do that job because I don't want to fuck with anybody. And I think you really have to be one of those people that just want to fuck with people's lives. You get a little boner by having a little power over people.
Do you think Joe Biden discriminates? Do you think he would sniff a transsexual?
Nobody that old. No,
Jim
no.
Jim Norton is fully
like 11 and under.
No, I got pictures.
You're gonna watch. You're gonna watch them.
No, I'm not, because it'll make me sad. I get it. I believe you. You're right. It's there.
Jim Norton fully comes out and says one of his biggest turn on is a she-male. And
a chick with a dick?
Chick with a dick. And I
with
have to
big
admit,
fake boobies?
I was looking at some chicks with dicks online.
What's hot is when
not recently.
Listen, what's hot is when a
while
regular
ago. Are you gonna let me fucking finish?
When a regular chick blows
Jesus
one of those
Christ,
guys.
He always interrupts me.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
Didn't you teach him any manners?
There's no manners in podcasting, man.
And I have to say, I was vaguely, like, I was
Titillated.
trying not to be somewhat aroused, but I was. Even though
Did
I
you
could
stroke
see
your
the
actual
dick.
cock to it?
No, I didn't. But I had these feelings, and I didn't like them. I was uncomfortable with the feelings.
I have stroked my cock to completion watching a hot regular chick blow a chick with a dick. I don't like the chicks with the dicks together, but to me it was just a guy with tits, and it was kind of hot.
Well, I mean,
And I came right into a towel
these
and then laundered it.
the she-male that
And then a
I
guest
saw a
used
couple
it.
of them. I believe they had real breasts because they take the hormone.
Nah, I know what you're saying. I'm telling you, though, the ones that look good.
Well, they
or
have
bet-
real nipples. That's for sure.
It's like, even those are reconstructed. It's like
you don't
reg-
know that.
it's like
I believe the hormones will turn your.
It's
nipples
like
into-
regular chicks. The chicks with the best tits, they're fake 90% of the time. Yeah, there's chicks out there with beautiful breasts. We all know women in our personal lives with big, beautiful boobs. But even they could use a little talk at the very least. There's nothing wrong with breast surgery.
a little talk.
I'm not saying implants. I'm saying a
last
little.
time I was here, you were talking about Ivanka's boobs.
Ivanka Trump is a fucking beautiful woman, and she's going to be the first female president of the United States. Talk about a fucking dynasty.
We'll see.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Well, I may not see, but
Why do you say that?
I think she has aspirations in that direction, and I think she's qualified. She's qualified. Qualified. Remember Jesse Jackson? I'm qualified. Actually, Jesse,
I don't know.
You're not.
speaking of qualified,
You know,
you see where Mr. Sharpton is starting to make noises about 2020?
oh, please run. Al, please
Oh
run.
yeah, give him the
Can you
nomination.
imagine? Picture this lunacy, all right?
And he
Al
still owes
Sharpton.
$4.2 million in back taxes.
Listen to this lunacy right here. Talk about must-see TV, okay? Al Sharpton, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, all on the same fucking stage. The only thing that could do that would make it better is to roll out Hillary in a muumuu. You know what I mean? That would be
Jesus.
beautiful. We're talking about a lunatic asylum.
right.
Yeah, and believe me, I know all about lunatic asylums.
You know something though? If Joe Biden is thinking of running, and Joe Biden, isn't he 73 or 74
Joe Biden's
years
not
old?
running for president.
Believe there's a point in which you got to go. Well, 8 years from now, this guy's going to be 86 years old.
Yeah.
It's fucking too late.
No, it's too late. Joe's
Too late
time is
it's
gone.
too late for Bernie
if-
too. Bernie
Bernie's 74, 73, 74.
apparently he's a vegetarian. He takes
But
he,
he's
he
going to be
exercises.
80 by the time he's.
Well, you got
gonna
to think of the 8-year run. If they
Right.
make it 8 years, they're going to be fucking old. I mean, Reagan was what 69. When
He
got
was the
in?
oldest. Trump's the oldest now.
So
They were both 69 when they got elected.
and Reagan was fucking.
But Trump
His
was almost
last
70.
year, I believe Reagan did not know where he was.
You know what? I haven't done much reading on that.
He only
but
spoke with Nancy's hand up his ass.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty scary.
It was scary.
whatever. He was a great president. That's just that.
He was a
Fucking
great man.
pulled America out of the
don't know.
doldrums, much like the great Donald
He
J.
was a
Trump is
great
doing now.
narrator.
He's a great communicator.
And that's what a country needs. But he also, I don't know.
Do you remember Wanda loved that guy?
We went into some serious
Loved him.
fucking debt under Ronald Reagan
Yeah. That Schmidt.
because Reagan just spent more fucking money on defense than anybody since
Until now.
Just rightly so.
Since the World War II. He just went crazy. And the Soviet Union was going to fall. Probably would have fell in like 93 if Reagan didn't do anything instead of 88 or 89.
89, yeah.
But it was on its way out because everybody gives Reagan a lot of the credit for pushing them over the edge, and I he did. I think he did. It's going to take a long time for this to come out, but one of the greatest men of the 20th century will be Mikhail Gorbachev, without a doubt, because Mikhail Gorbachev was the guy that he was basically the guy that put an end to the Soviet Union.
Dismantled it.
And he said, it's time. And imagine the courage that takes. People talk about, Al and I have talked about, like, Snowden. And, people think that he's a fucking coward and a traitor. And I don't think so. I mean, he's not a stupid guy. And when you go over, you cross that line, your life is never going to be the same again. So you got to really feel strongly about that. I mean, that you're either going to be in prison for the rest of your life, or you'll never see your country again. And that is I don't have the ball. I don't have anywhere near the balls to do that. And I don't know a lot of people that do. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So whether you like him or not, you can't say the guy's a coward.
No.
And I think what he did, I think he did a service. We have too many secrets. We don't need 5 million people with security clearance in this country.
I'm with you.
The problem is,
especially if it gets them 100% fucking health care for the rest of their lives.
One of the problems is with, and I know that this is they talk about the elite being just, you can be your father could be a coal miner and you could go to Columbia University and then work at, get a job at the New York Times, and all of a sudden you're elite. But you remember your father being a coal miner. The thing is, when you look at these blue-collar workers who voted for Donald Trump, there's an idea out there that all these people are stupid. And that is a very, not only is it wrong, but it's extremely, if you want to win an election again and you're a Democrat, you want to win a presidency,
you need those votes.
Well, first of all, you better understand that these people are not stupid. These people are, once they see that he doesn't build the wall, they kind of know that the wall is sort of a
symbol.
Yes. And they know that he lies a lot. But he's a hell of a lot better than that fucking whore that they were going to put in there. And I mean, these people, they might not have a college education, but for the most part, some of the smartest people that I've ever met, I thought was stupid when I first met them.
Yeah.
Being in the trades, because I deal with a lot of uncollege educated, not finished high school people, and I've met some of the smartest people on job sites. And so I don't know. I think these people got to get their head out of their ass. And what amazes me is how surprised they were when she lost. Now, granted, I was surprised, but I mean, they were just fucking horrified. Like the world was coming to an end.
And they still have the same feeling today.
Yeah, but what's
still tantruming?
The thing that's happened, the thing that hasn't changed is they're doubling down on this. Well, we're going to call everybody a racist. We're going to do the identity politics thing.
Yep.
And it's going to work out great this time. Well, no, it's not.
No.
So we'll see what happens. It's November. We're going to have the midterm elections. We'll see if either the House or the Senate or both go. I don't think either one of them. I'm going to make a prediction that neither the House nor the Senate is going to go Democrat.
I mean, I think you're right.
And doesn't it usually go Democrat?
The House isn't going. The House isn't going to go. The Senate, it's
doesn't
really
one of them go after the
in the midterms? Yes.
If you had a Democratic president and a Republican House, and then a Republican comes into the White House, doesn't usually after the midterms?
There's usually
one of them gets.
They usually don't make it through both general elections and both midterm elections.
And the reason why is
not this time.
Is the American people are not idiots. They go, we need to balance this asshole off a little bit. So we'll vote in fucking crazy Nancy here.
Hence Massachusetts, which has 85% of the state house is Democratic, and our entire delegation to the U.S. Congress is Democratic.
Democrat.
But we have no problem with a Republican governor. It's been a Republican a lot. We had Duval for 8 years, and then Dukakis before. I understand it was always, but in recent, modern
I wonder if
gubernatorial, you have Bill Paul Cellucci, Swifty.
I don't think it's 80 for
fucking Romney.
85% anymore.
It's 85-15 last
Give me
time I
that
checked.
phone so I can look at Google and shit.
All right.
But I don't think that. Never mind. I don't even know how to use this thing.
My wife just organized everything. I'll put Google on for you.
Here,
That's not shaking, by the way.
nobody's shaking. I might be moving a little bit.
You don't have headphones on. Yeah, it's you.
Is it?
Fucking squeeze the ball, maniac.
The little things that bother him. And I'm the same way. I'm a fucking lunatic with little things.
I used to not. I still can't. If something's rattling in or on the car, I go nuts. And Scott used to do that when we drove to work in his van. He would stop and check everything. And I'm like, you fucking idiot! Just turn the radio up. Even I can't do that anymore.
That always worked for me.
Yeah. Even I'm like, and then I'm like, all right, the radio's up, and I can't hear it, but I know it's still rattling. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just you get older and you get fucking. What am I looking up now, Yosepi?
Percentage of
Oh, yeah.
Massachusetts legislators that are
Right.
Democrat.
Okay, how's this?
I think that it's
Percentage
dropped.
of Massachusetts legislators that are Democrat. Here we go. Yes, that's what I meant.
And it was 85%. Go ahead, Pops. You were going to say something.
Don't hold back, Dad.
Just going back to the who has security clearances and who knows what, and you alluded to that about 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Now,
What is 160 out of 200? Oh, it's 80%, not 85. Sorry.
okay,
It's 80%. 160 out of 200.
our Democrat.
Is that it?
Yeah.
House and Senate?
Yeah, together. I did the math. And the House is way, way more than the Senate.
Yeah, you'd be right.
Yeah.
Go ahead on your idea.
Well, it's not an idea. It's just a subject. It appears now that Diane Feinstein had a Chinese chauffeur for 20 years who was an agent of the Chinese government,
I saw
She
something
had a
about.
Russia problem.
I saw something about that with
who
her.
also used to sit in for her at certain meetings
And take notes.
and take notes because she couldn't be there.
Diane Feinstein. She's apparently extremely wealthy, meaning she and her husband.
Correct.
I don't know what he might be a real estate guy or something, but he's made a lot of money. And
That's Nancy's husband. Or
no,
maybe I got him
I know
confused.
that, but I think Diane Feinstein's
Banking.
husband. Hey, look that up.
Banking.
I got the article right here about Diane.
Diane Feinstein. I wanted to say I was surprised. Like she and her husband are worth like $500 million.
Yeah.
Some crazy amount of money. But one of the things that I've said to Al is,
She's got a China problem, it turns out.
not all of these politicians are
What is
all
Diane
terrible.
Feinstein's net worth?
Because think about it.
Investopedia, California's Sen. Diane Feinstein's estimated $94 million net worth makes her the second wealthiest serving senator. Bloom Capital.
That's pretty wealthy.
Equity firm
All right,
founded in
she's-
1975 by her husband.
So she's fairly wealthy, but not all these politicians are terrible, because you gotta think about it. Who you only see the ones that are on TV. So what's that? Maybe 20 senators and maybe 30 or 40
A
congressmen
handful.
that are you see
Willing to give FaceTime to
yeah
the
you
screen.
see them on TV all the time, and they go on shows.
It's called the
and-
leadership. It's the
and-
leadership.
But the rest of these people are. It's amazing how much they come and go. They do go away a lot. There are some that stay forever and far too. Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell,
Diane Feinstein,
Diane Feinstein,
Chuck Schumer.
But you've got Mitch McConnell
Crying
is on the
Chuck.
Republican side. Who else on the Republican side who's been there
Rand
forever?
Paul.
Well, Rand
Paul
Paul's
for a
been
while.
there for a long time.
Rand Paul is one of the faces that you see. You know what I mean? Mitch O'Connell, we already said.
Because they lost a few. Like remember
Harry
that-
Reid was there for. No, Harry Reid was
Harry Reid was Democrat.
yeah.
They had that Eric
Orrin
Cantor.
Hatch. Orrin Hatch. Eric Cantor's gone, though.
Eric Cantor was gone.
He was a House guy.
and
wasn't a
he
senator.
thought he was one of those guys that ran, and he thought he was in, and I believe he lost the primary.
He lost the primary, yeah. And he was like the fucking whip. He was number 3 or number
Well, you
4
know what?
in the party.
Eric Cantor is Jewish, and I think what happened is
From Texas, right?
I think
That's
Virginia.
tough. That's tough, being a Jew from Texas.
I mean, can you imagine?
And I think his constituency found out he was Jewish, and they
You
voted him
fucking
away because they're all racist. So we're not going to vote that, even though he believes in what we believe in.
Fucking money grubbing
but you know
heap.
what I'm doing? I'm making them all out to be stupid. All these stupid people. They're not all that stupid. Now there are a lot of stupid people around, but
And a lot of them vote
just because
Democrat.
you're not rich and you do a blue-collar job does not mean you're a stupid person.
Agreed. Go back to Diane Feinstein.
Well, I guess
It was discovered in 2013.
did she do anything wrong? That's the thing.
Well,
Other than just be stupid.
other than no due diligence
if you
on
just
her,
fuck
on her
up-
chauffeur. No, forget that. Let's say she was duped for 20 years.
Yep.
Okay. It came to light in 2013 that this gentleman was an agent of a foreign country.
And she still didn't get rid of him?
He was allowed to resign. No charges were ever brought.
He was caught in 2013.
I just said 2013. Yeah.
But was it proven that he was or was there a...
Read the words, Al. Oh,
I try to be careful.
I
You know
know
why?
you
Because
do.
there's a lot of shit
know you
right
do.
now where you hear, and it doesn't matter, and I try to catch myself because
He's Chinese American, by the way.
whatever.
you love the scandal. You want them all to be fucking dirty scum, and there's enough dirty scum down there, and it's there is a cesspool aspect to it.
But I'm not talking about her.
Him.
What I'm saying is, when this came to light in 2013, why was nothing done?
I don't know.
No.
Did you read into it? Like, did they prove that he was a spy?
Now, the FBI informed her that he had previously worked for the China's Ministry of State Security for over a decade.
Was he born in China?
So she quietly dismissed him.
Was he born in China?
Yeah, but he was an American citizen by the time he got here. By the time he was
So
working
he
for her.
worked there and then he left and came to the United States.
Yeah, he's clearly a spy.
Well, no, he's not clearly a spy. Maybe he worked for a spy agency or
he
worked
wasn't a
for an
spy
agency
anymore,
and said, I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of China.
And the only job he could find
Was
was
to drive
to,
Diane-
to
drive
drive
Diane
and
around.
be a staffer for one of the most powerful
Well,
senators in the
and
fucking.
you know something? I'm glad you said it because it gets back to the security clearance shit that I
Yeah,
keep talking about.
That's why I raised it.
There isn't that many secrets. There's only embarrassment. And that's why there's so many security clearances. I watched this documentary about, do you know who, God damn it, I wish I had my fucking computer in front of me.
Sorry, buddy.
Look up,
Stop breaking the computer.
who was the CIA director from 99 to 2005.
Okay.
This guy by the name of William Binney, who designed the softwares that could, for the NSA, work for the NSA. He and a group of people.
I'm sorry, buddy. What was the job?
CIA,
CIA director.
1999 to 2005. Hayden, General Michael Hayden. Bill Binney, some genius lunatic, devised the software system so that you could listen in to every conversation that's going on in the United States between people and the outside world, but had the mechanism to not spy on Americans somehow. Okay? And Michael Hayden he was director of the NSA and said, nah, I think we're going to go. So, and this thing could have been put in place for like $300 million. And Michael Hayden said, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to go and spend $3 or $4 billion. And there was a lot of talk about, there was a woman that was under Michael Hayden that said, oh, this 9/11 is great. We can spend anything we want.
97 and 2004 was George Tenet.
Huh?
He wasn't 99 to what?
All right, then he was in the NSA
Just
from 90. Then he
John
was CIA.
McLaughlin, George
All right,
Tenet,
yeah.
Porter Goss.
So Michael Hayden, and he's this Poindexter looking.
Look up Michael Hayden.
All right.
Michael Hayden. See if he did any fucking. Was he ever shot at? He's a general. He looks like Poindexter. You see him on a lot of the talking head shows. I don't believe he's ever been in combat before.
Director of National Intelligence and Director of Central Intelligence Agency.
And he's just one of these guys that's been there forever, and he knows how to work the fucking system, and he's probably a billionaire, and there's a lot of national security shit going around old Mike. Do you notice how Ed Snowden released, like, what, millions of documents, and the whole country hasn't fucking fallen apart, has it?
No.
No.
It's amazing how much...
It's stronger than ever, as a matter of fact.
It's amazing how much of this, highly national security shit you can let out. And the country doesn't even fall apart. There's various people that are fucking wildly embarrassed.
Right.
But national security is not about keeping you from being embarrassed because you're a dick. It's about, or you're a fucking clown. It's about, making sure that if you got some, spy somewhere, that they don't chop his head off and feed him his balls.
Oh, you mean if we have a spy over in wherever?
Yeah. Well, that's the only
He
reason.
doesn't get turned out.
Man, he's got a lot of fucking awards and medals, dude.
Of course he does.
I think he's pretty much been shot at.
Where? Did he run anything? He just doesn't look like the kind of guy.
Did he run anything?
No. Did he fucking run like a platoon or a group of people?
No, he's
or-
always been in intelligence. He's been an Army intelligence guy. You know what I'm saying?
He's never been a leader of men. He's a
He's
fucking
been a lover of men.
he's a fucking
Clearly.
suit wearing asshole that somehow got to be a general.
It's like my buddy Cohen. Once he got out of Vietnam, he was in.
Yeah, but Cohen was in Vietnam.
Hey,
yes.
while you're over there,
Yes.
one more fireball and one of these.
But once he got out, he finished up his career in security and intelligence.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not even saying, but this guy just seems like he's a good spokesman. He talks well. But he just looks like he would cut his mother apart if it would serve his best interest. You know what I mean? I mean, he's about as loyal as a fucking snake in a fucking mouse cage. He's just not. He just gives you the impression that he's your best friend right up until something bad happens to you, and then he just skates away. And that's how most of these people are. They don't have any real friends. They just have they have people they know and anybody that you could use at the time. And I mean, I think that's our president for the most part, other than his family. Although the Donald tends to be wildly loyal to people that are very loyal to him.
By the way, how dope is it that your hot fucking whatever the fuck ex-wife referred to you as the Donald whenever she talked about you in public? That's such a cool handle.
Yeah, was that?
Ivana.
It was Ivana.
She called him the Don. Whenever
That's where
she
it came from. It was from.
Yeah.
Okay.
From
Well,
her.
even when they were married.
I didn't know if it was her or Marla.
Kat actually asked me the other night if I would mind if she referred to me as the Albert, and I went, I wish you would. You know what I mean? Maybe my luck will change. You know what I mean? I mean, I've had a pretty good run, which sucks about the last fucking 5 or 6 weeks of my life.
Yeah.
I have had a pretty good run.
Yeah.
For me. She's like, I'm thinking about calling you the Albert. I'm like, fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Please call me the Albert.
Well, I
She's
think they
pretty
should.
funny. She's a funny broad.
Well, he's been called the Donald. She was, because they used to interview her, she's wildly driven. And she did he had.
And you get big points here on Kinda Right for being wildly driven.
No, she was crazy driven. He put her in charge of, very early on, Trump Castle. I think it was Trump Castle. There was a Trump Plaza, Trump Castle, and the Taj Mahal, and one of them's no longer in business.
Probably the Trump Castle. That's fucking way out of business.
She ran
That's
that,
Trump.
and then he bought the. He started fucking Marla. They wanted to get her out of Las
Right
Vegas,
in her mouth.
out of New Jersey, and because she was down there, and he bought the. Now he didn't buy it to give her a job, but it was a genius move because not only is she good, but it gets her out of New Jersey. He bought the Plaza Hotel and had her go in there and completely remodel the place and
Right.
run it. And she worked like 18 hours a day. She was crazy. So
I mean, he's working 20, so she might as well work,
she was a hard-working
Individual.
lady. Very hard-working.
And she gave him a fucking break in the divorce, by the way.
Well, they had a prenup.
Right.
And the one thing that Ivanka said is that she would only push it so far because you do not want.
You mean Ivana?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
What did I say? Ivanka?
Yeah, you
Ivanka's
first said
his
Ivana,
daughter.
then you made it Ivanka.
Ivana said you don't want to push Donald to the point where now he's after you. Like you pushed him to the point where he's going to get you. Because when you're that person, he's going to get you.
Yeah.
He's going to.
That's the counterpuncher.
And he's going to do it until until you're fucking dead.
It's
or
going to back
beat
you
up.
Yep.
And then what he tends to do is he beats the shit out of people, and then he hires them if they were a good fight.
Hey, everybody, we're out of beer. I got to go next door and get a 6-pack. I'll be right back. So I just checked in Carver, and all is quiet on the Carver front, just in case anyone's wondering. The kid went to bed early, like a half hour ago.
You never talked about the kid,
I'm not going to.
so
not ready
no one would know.
I'm letting you guys know. It sounds like a peaceful night.
All right, I thought you were.
He
talking
did do
about
a little fuck you earlier, but listen, any night he's home and in his room, it's a good night.
Okay.
For me and Mom. You know what I'm saying?
It's all going to work out,
So, by the way, I was just wandering around smoking marijuana in your garage, and I noticed that you still got those communities, and I know I have a job for them in September. Can I borrow them? I won't hurt them. You know that.
Yeah.
And do you have any of those pro audio amps that we've been swapping back and forth for 10 years, not doing anything? Because then I can fucking do a true stereo mix at my wedding reception where our band is playing.
Well, I've got 2 Haflers in the cabana that I haven't used in a long
But
time.
I'm saying they're not hooked into anything. Are they easily removable?
Yes.
Oh, you're the man. I don't have to go buy or rent a PA
Hopefully
now.
they'll work.
They'll work. I have an amp. but
and they
it's-
won't blow up
it
on
can't
you.
run what I want to run. We're not going to be that loud. I just need coverage. The more speakers you have, even if they're at low, you need more amps to run the speakers cleanly. You know what I mean? So me, the kid,
Otherwise, you have an impedance problem.
me on drums, the kid on bass, who, by the way, is officially right now the best bass player I've ever played with. I played with a lot of fucking players. Okay? By the way, my brother is like the third best. That's how good he is.
Which one?
David made my life special 6 or whatever the fuck years ago. It was 7 already that we did the Edge. Can you believe that? Edgemere reunion was 7 years ago. And we were like, we'll do it in 5 years. 5 years went like by
I was
that.
thinking
None of
about
us
it.
have talked to each other since.
I was thinking about it just a few days ago.
I'm all set.
You know when the last time I saw Dave was? It was either at your house or at the VFW,
My 40th anniversary,
your 40th anniversary.
12 years ago.
So I don't know whether it was
We're having another gig there.
a Christmas or a New Year's at your house, whether that was before it.
Are you sure that was a holiday? Oh, it was definitely before that. Dave has not been home much.
Dave was home 7 years ago.
I
did
know
you
what
go-
he's talking. He's talking about so far back when we had the family portrait done in my living room, where we were all wearing black.
How long ago would
Remember,
this be?
I got
Oh, that's
Charlene. Charlena was a baby. No,
no, it's not
someone
that
else
far
was a
back.
baby.
Evan.
Nah.
Evan could have been a baby. Evan was a baby in 2000.
Oh, this was
Oh,
way
Gabriel,
before.
maybe.
There was a baby there.
No, I was with
And a
Patty
lot of kids
when I
weren't
went to your
born yet.
house.
It was a long time ago. Yeah. I'm talking. That was that whole week. That was when I was rolling.
Did you go to the
Was it when
Edge-
I was rolling? Do you remember? Was I rolling?
Rolling one.
Building a couple houses, got 8-10 guys painting.
Oh,
during
yeah,
that era?
yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that's
think
how
so.
far. That's how long ago it was. We're talking about 2002 or 3.
Because I saw him then, and he was thin. He was thin at both occasions.
He's massive. He's built like me.
And Al says he's big.
No, well, he's settled in. And he won't tell me at what. I saw pictures. I think he's
And
settled.
Dave, no,
No, he gets it. No.
I just.
He lives the.
That's
struggle.
when I saw you.
I think he's settled, and I don't know, Dave. I'm guessing, and you won't tell me. I think he's settled in and is comfortable at like 275.
All right.
That's what he's comfortable at. He's strong. He probably doesn't get too winded fucking walking from his car to his office. He's fucking thankful that he doesn't have to walk upstairs. You know what I mean?
Did you go to the
Eats a lot of meat and drinks a lot of bourbon, that brother of mine.
Did you go to the Edgemere reunion, Joe?
No, I invited him, and the cunt didn't come.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't
I'm
know
still
what that
trying
was.
to. I'm still
He
trying.
doesn't
to,
even know what you're talking
I'm
about.
still
That's how
trying
big
to
of a
place
cunt
the
he
last
is.
time he might have seen Dave.
I am a cunt.
So there
No,
was
I
my.
didn't-
Edgemere was the band I was in college that we made some noise with.
They had a
Not,
reunion.
I'm not even talking. I'm talking about that band. Could have been.
So this was
something.
like 7 or 8 years ago?
It was 2011. It was May 29th, 2011. I remember it well.
Where was the...
It was at my house in Carver
So why wouldn't I have gone?
because I invited you and you guys decided not to come. It happens a lot. by the way.
2011. Well, Anna graduated from college in
No, you guys.
2011.
You just decided not to come. You were home. Don't feel bad about it. It is.
No,
what it
I'm
is.
just trying to... I'm trying to think of, like, why wouldn't I go?
because.
But I have been...
You didn't want to go to a party.
I love being at home. And my favorite thing in the world... You know, I used to be embarrassed because I thought... Well, first of all, I didn't believe it. So you go through this denial. I think I've gone through the stages of grief over this whole thing.
Denial is just not an Egypt, a river.
But
in
I've
Egypt.
finally accepted
something.
what my favorite thing in life is. No, watching television.
oh,
Watching TV rules. I wish I had more time to do it.
Really,
I've been trying to watch Better Call
I
Saul
love-
for days. I can't get to it.
laying on the couch, watching and I'm not talking about watching fucking The Price is Right and shit. I try to find like some documentary that's interesting, and now with the selection that you have now, I love stand-up comedy. I love really good movies.
He loves men.
I do love men.
Yep.
I don't watch any pornography.
Me neither. I was good for a couple pornos a week.
Yeah, I'm not-
I'm like once a year now.
No pornography.
I only jerk off like twice a year now. What's wrong
The,
with that? I can't even get it up for
so
myself.
documentaries,
You know what I'm saying, Dad?
documentaries,
Stand up.
stand-up comedy, because stand-up comedians, that's the real deal. That is the toughest. It's a guy or a woman with a microphone.
Yeah, it's
And
awesome.
you get on stage, and you either do well or you fucking suck.
Have you watched all of the George Carlin HBO specials? All 8 of them?
I've seen most of them.
George Carlin was a genius. He was a communist, but he was a genius.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
TV is a medium. I love it. Not TV as in God, or any.
No, it's
Or
different. It's
I
already.
watch no more. No
The
more
TV
cable news. I don't even watch Sunday shows.
The
anymore.
TV and internet is seamless now. It's seamless. Everything is the internet.
Right, and I'll
man.
go to as you do. I'll put YouTube on the TV. Like Joe Rogan had. I watched this last night. Joe Rogan had Macaulay Culkin in to talk to, which is an interesting thing because I love the Home Alone and the Home Alone in New York. And I think there was another one.
And he's what, 40 years old now, and he's a drug addict.
37.
Yeah.
No, he's
He cleaned up.
pretty even
All right, so
keeled.
he's straightened out.
He's a pretty regular guy.
Good.
Doesn't sound. He's not whacked out.
Ain't doing a lot of acting.
He doesn't want anything to do with acting.
Oh, good for her.
He's a him.
Barely.
He says I don't want to be. He said being famous it's just a pain in. I can go out and walk around and nobody knows who the fuck I am, and every once in a while somebody looks at me and says, "Are you?" And he goes, "No." And he's got enough money because I guess that law was passed where the parents, they have to put a certain amount away for the kid. So, he's got $50 million or something that he can live on, or $100 million.
Yeah, why would you work? Good for him.
So he doesn't have to. He's a man of leisure. That's what he calls himself.
Good for him.
I said he lived in Paris.
It's a good way to be,
He's got
man.
a place over in Paris, and he's got friends, and he's got
How
a
could
girlfriend.
he be worth $50 million?
Those Home Alone movies made billions.
He got
Yeah,
a piece.
but no,
He got a
wait,
piece
he got
of
a
the second
piece.
one. He didn't get a piece of the first one. He got a piece of the second one and the third one, and that was
right,
good.
There were 3, right?
Yeah, and they were all huge. The second one was technically grossed more than the first one, and he got a piece of that.
All right.
That's probably where he
And they
made
had
every
passed
cent.
a law because it
Yeah,
used to be that the
the
parents
would take the
all
money
the
and-
fucking money.
right.
Yeah, but because of like
But
Gary
they had to put
Coleman
like
and
25%.
poor Gary Coleman.
25% of the money, like the gross money, had to be put into a fucking
Trust.
account
Yeah.
that the kid couldn't get at until he was 21, and which is a good thing.
And escrow be cool.
So he's,
Escrow be growing your money.
Nothing
he's
like compound interest.
37 years old.
awesome.
They basically left, for the most part, he left the money alone. So if it's in anything decent, even if it started at $20 million, he's got 100. Because he's 37. I mean,
Right.
he was fucking 9 in the movies.
Right.
All right. What's 2018 to 1992?
It's like fucking 27 years or some shit. 8 and 17. 19, 18, 26 years. Like my math?
Yeah.
It's 26 years I got there, though, man.
Yeah, compounding
I got
interest.
fucking there.
You're just doing very well.
That I have I literally have a compounding interest calculator on my phone, app because I owe so many people money. It's just real easy to figure out where I'm at with them because I pay between 8 and 10% street interest.
No, you don't. You just hide. He moves a lot.
No, I'm talking about to friends and family. You know what I mean?
So the deal is, it's very nice to see. I, unlike other people, I like to see that somebody was a child actor and he turned out okay. And he seems to be
He did
enjoying
struggle,
his life.
though. He did struggle.
Well, I think
Everybody struggles.
what a horror show. I mean,
Yeah,
he
right.
didn't, as he said
Listen.
to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's a great.
You got to figure.
Oh, and you know something? I sent Al like a little diatribe. I get on these things and I'm half lucid. I'm like, I want to tell Al.
I'm gonna read it to the fucking audience at the end of the show.
No, read it. You can read it now. So what I did was I sent Al these things because I think
He like pep talks. He gets weird. He's like, Al needs
Well-
a pep talk. I don't need a pep talk. I'm here. I'm good.
I don't want him to lose because
Because he knows
deal
how I
is-
get. He knows that I'll do something for a little while and then I'll just stop and never do it.
no, he doesn't do that. I do that. I think it's a pep talk for me, really, because I'm a quitter.
I'm about to fucking quit a good job. All right? I got an interview Saturday.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
But that's how
I don't think
crazy
you
I
would-
am.
You wouldn't quit this. I
No.
think it's too much fun, and there's too much upside.
You know what? It's fun and it's also kind of routine. I kind of like routine. It turns out
You know what?
I
It
did-
is
I used to-
routine.
it's good routine. I used to hate routine. That's why I couldn't have a job. But I've learned to accept that you probably got to get a little fucking routine in your life, or you're going to be dead. But definitely before you're 60.
But now
you know?
here's the thing: there's no way you can go back and gauge. But I'm telling you, I listened gauge how bad you were in the beginning, and we weren't that bad. We were pretty good in the beginning. But I told
We were
in this
charming
thing,
at the very
Joe
least.
Rogan's got like 1,150 shows out, right? I went back to like show 300. It was awful. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that.
And it didn't
Joe,
even
I
sound
apologize.
good. And it didn't even
It
sound good.
sounded like shit, and he was nowhere near as good of an interviewer.
I don't
as
think he had a
today.
shaky thing on his table, though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is something still shaking?
It's fucking awful. It's your stand. You've destroyed it.
The stand is.
No. Look at mine. Look. Yours is. That should be a suction cup bottom.
Look, I don't know what to say about the stand.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
Joe Rogan. Let me put it on a positive side.
I
Meaning,
got a minute out of it.
instead of white privilege, we're going to call it black disprivilege. Joe Rogan is infinitely better today than he was at show 300. So,
Well, you would hope so. Look how much better Stern is today than he was when he was 29.
but he was still pretty good.
Speaking of Howard
He was a
Stern,
natural.
Howard Stern has a third book coming out.
I didn't know he wrote a second book.
Well, his first book was Private Parts, which went on to become a movie.
Second
only
one
one.
was
And
Miss
the second one
America.
was Miss America, and that sold more books than Private Parts.
If you want to read it, I own it. So
We own all of those.
I don't want to read it.
I got rid of a lot of books. I had to save They Call Me Baba Booey. I still have Robin's book. Quivers of Life. I never read it. Did you read Quivers of Life, Dad?
yeah, I own it. I think.
It's the underneath of the table. That's all it is.
No, this is
Something's.
pretty good here.
I'm saying that's not making the noise. It's you shaking your leg or something. It's
I'm
fine.
not.
Just do your thing, man.
But you know what?
So he's got a third book coming out, and he's been talking about some project that he needed pictures for, and well, it's coming out. So Artie Lang has commented on it.
It was
apparently
nice because I'm going to interrupt.
Good.
It was nice, and then I'll finish.
No,
It was
do your
nice
thing.
to see Macaulay Culkin. Looks like he's a well-adjusted man enjoying himself.
He gets a lot
And
of
he's
trim.
he's not all fucked up.
Bangs a
on
lot of
drugs.
hot chicks.
I bet he does.
Yeah. And he fucking probably eats a lot of sushi. It's good for you, and it's fucking delicious, but it's expensive.
I think they talked about sushi, and I think he doesn't
Oh, really? Maybe
But
that's
then
a
again-
horrible stereotype.
because
I'm fucking generalizing
he's not
again.
snotty. He's not snotty. And they
No.
were talking about Johnny Depp, who's kind of gone up. One of the
Is
reasons
he friends with Johnny Depp?
he knows him. I don't think they're
All right,
pals.
they're not hanging out.
However, Johnny Depp is very good friends with Doug Stanhope, who's very good friends
Doug-
with Joe Rogan.
I know that. That's bizarre. What a bizarre triangle.
What the hell was their old show?
Well,
Man
the
Show.
Man Show.
Doug Stanhope and Joe Rogan did the Man Show
took
after
over-
Corolla
after
and
yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause
The
Jimmy
great-
Kimmel got his job at the
The great Adam
CBS.
Carolla and the great Jimmy Kimmel, by the way.
Yes.
They're both great.
So Doug Stanhope hangs out with Johnny Depp, and they came to the conclusion. This is they meaning Joe Rogan and Macaulay Culkin, is that Johnny Depp is so bored with the movies that he's making because he's making this 14th installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean, which I saw the first one and he stole the show
Of course he did.
Well, yeah.
because he's a great actor, but I think he hates it. So the only thing that he gets out of it is the money, and then he goes around and blows it trying to find happiness. So he's got 14 fucking houses. And
I thought that movie was like. I saw the first one finally, like before I moved. I think it was last winter, and I'm like, all right,
yes, but you're
they're
jaded.
ghosts
Because
They're
so
ghosts.
many
I
people-
thought
No,
you couldn't even suspend belief enough. I was just like,
It was a good
Well,
movie.
first of
lights
all, he
hitting
wasn't
him
a
and
ghost at all.
well, but he did become one in the second one. Remember?
He was no, Joe. You forget.
He is a
Go
ghost.
back and
in
watch
the first one.
In the first,
It was
one.
the first one, yeah. I made it about 2 minutes. I made it through the first one in about 2 minutes the second
Well,
one.
You don't find out.
I wasn't going to watch all
You don't
five.
find out until they're fighting in the cave, in the moonlight or whatever.
He's a
shines
fucking
through.
ghost, man.
I believe you. Because I don't remember it at all. Here's what I remember. I was in Disney World
Disney Merle.
when it came out. It was at the Disney Theater. Me, Patty, Anna, and I believe my niece Sandra went and saw it with no preconceptions. Watched it, and Johnny Depp, because they were trying to launch Orlando Bloom as the next big, and Johnny Depp was sort of like he was, and Johnny Depp just stole. That was fucking unbelievable.
Right.
So when I watched, we were just saying, Jesus, is he good? Coming out of that. Now, I could see if you watched it like last week, because you've heard about it so much and about how good Johnny Depp is.
Yeah, and there's been what, 8 of them?
I can't even tell you. I don't even think I've seen the second one. I saw
nor
the
have
first
I.
one.
Nor have I.
But they think that he's so fucking bored that he's going out and just spending money on shit just to do something. And now they give him like $30 million a movie because they make $15 billion a piece.
Right.
And he probably gets some of the back end too.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
You guys talk. I got to pee.
That's part of the deal. So anyway, Dad, I guess old Artie commented on it. I didn't know this. Artie's on probation for like 5 or 6 more years. They were fed up with him. They're like, you fuck up one more time with the drugs and shit.
Cocaine?
No, the heroin.
Heroin.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
his thing.
Well, it's less expensive than cocaine.
So, and then fucking, I guess John Melendez, you know who that is, right?
Yeah. Stuttering John.
He, this asshole. He goes, I feel it very odd that Howard Stern is coming out with another book 2 weeks before mine. I guess John has a book coming out. What does he need to buy? Another house in Fiji? Melendez's memoir, Easy for You to Say, is coming out in October. And, Howard's is coming out in September.
You know what?
And
That might be
John's going to reveal things and guests that were banned from the Stern Show, which I'm interested in reading that. That sounds interesting. You know me, I read everything. I
John-
devour everything.
John's coming from the absolute wrong angle.
Of course. Well, what else is he going to do?
Saying, well, why does he have to release his book a month before? I got news for you, John. Howard's book is going to sell, and then people are going to hear that your book is hitting the market, and they're going to buy your book because Howard is stoking the fire.
Yeah. Hopefully John got a good fucking book deal. Hopefully he didn't just take the money up front and, Hopefully, he got a little cut.
Are you
'cause
kidding?
He's going to
He
sell a
should
lot of books.
sell.
By the way-
send Howard a thank you note.
Gary did that because that's what Howard told him to do.
What?
He took a small advance, Gary, and then he got a cut of the book.
Yeah.
He made like $15 million.
They call me Baba
That's
Booey.
not bad, man.
Yeah.
Artie's made 10, 15 on his book too. It's amazing. Howard's still getting 90 mil a year, and you know,
Is his wife still beautiful?
his wife is not just beautiful on the outside, but on the inside.
Whose wife?
She's a
Stern's
truly
wife.
nice person.
She's so nice.
Yeah.
And she all her job is, other than she still is a wedding gown model, but her other job, she's a TV
taking care of
personality.
the dogs.
She is totally into animals, and she rescues them and
Yep.
does it for no pay, and is just involved with it 80 hours a week. You know
North
what I mean?
Shore Animal League.
That
Yep.
they built. If you go there, apparently it's impressive. Howard and Beth built that.
Well, he doesn't travel, and he got his big house out in Long
Hamptons.
Island, and he's got
Yeah.
an apartment in the city.
Yeah,
And he's got
and
a
he's
lot
got the
of
place
money,
in
so
he's got the
what
place in
fuck?
Florida though.
What else is he gonna do?
You know they're
Does
good
he
at it.
actually go to Florida much?
He's not
He said-
going to Fiji.
No,
No,
well, no.
God,
John
no.
was being
No.
facetious.
No.
but
Howard's
he's no.
So
He goes to Florida under protest.
they're telling Artie Lang that they're gonna put him in jail if he's not.
Oh no,
good.
he's officially on probation, and he has been for a while.
Why is he on?
He's on. He's on. He just turned 50.
Why is
me
he
and
on
Me
probation?
and Artie are the same age, and he. Oh, for the heroin thing, he kept.
for having heroin.
Yeah, he gets because every time someone calls 911 because he fucking OD'd, they come and he's got a lot of heroin like a rich guy would have. A rich guy's not gonna a rich guy is gonna have way more heroin that's in him laying around. It's the junkies who there's no heroin around.
So they're gonna.
There's paraphernalia, but he had like enough.
They're gonna
to.
punish him because he's a heroin addict.
Well, they're just sick of his shit. It's been a lot.
Sick of what shit?
He's
a
been
heroin
arrested
addict.
5 or 6 times.
He's got mental issues.
Yeah. So anyway, but
So they're gonna lock him up.
no.
That'll help.
No, it's helped him stay on the straight and narrow for like 2 years now. It's been like a whole 2 years. Yeah, he's on probation till he's 54.
That's so stupid. I fucking hate this whole
He's on Suboxone.
culture of. This 23-hour a day in a cell thing.
heroin is delicious.
That's proven to be just. I mean, it's fucking mental torture.
Yeah, it's
That's gonna come
Cruel
down
and
as,
unusual
It's gonna
punishment.
come down as cruel and unusual.
put him out, shoot him, get it over with.
Well, it's better than putting him in a cell 23
20
hours
yeah.
a day. I don't know what's wrong with the United States as far as our crime and punishment shit, but we tend to lock people up at an alarming rate, especially if you're black, over
what are you, TV or something?
stupid things.
Go ahead, keep talking.
And it's
I could actually hear the little
Yeah.
through my headphones.
I watched like a documentary on Norway, and the worst fucking killer in Norway got 17 years. He killed like 14 people. And they're trying to rehabilitate him. Whereas here, they take you as a young kid and they throw you in with the rest of them, and they turn into and they're surprised that he turned into a fucking recidivist animal. And it's so fucking stupid. We spend money on the wrong thing. We don't need more jailers. We need fucking people that'll teach them not to be, I'm sure there are people that are just sociopathic and they're fucked and they can't be helped. Well, I guess they got to stay in jail, but not in a cell by themselves for 23 hours a day.
Yeah, how about in like a little wing with like 8 other people or 7 other people?
Yeah,
they can
or
figure that out,
something.
how to staff that.
And
And,
know
and
what?
everyone gets their
And if you
own bed,
don't-
by the way.
because
No-
all
no
you hear when
roommates.
you say stuff like that is, oh, well, I'm a jailer. It's really tough. Well, you don't have to be a jailer. No one drafted you.
Yeah.
Quit and become something else. Same thing with a cop. I don't give a fuck how tough your job is. No one drafted you. Leave.
Yeah.
You can leave. It's the United States of America. Get out. If you don't like your job, quit. It's a free country. Go build some fucking houses. Go build something. Do something with your life. Fucking bums. Instead of living off the taxpayer.
And we're not
finding
talking
out how many charges you can fucking write up against somebody.
And we're not
Because
talking
you're an asshole.
right. And we're not talking about directing traffic either. You can't do that anymore either.
Who?
I hate that.
Oh, the details?
Yeah, I hate that. The only fucking state in the whole country.
Yeah, because they're fucking cunts.
It's like everywhere else, there's flagman companies, and
Right.
guys make $20 an hour and get health insurance, make a decent wage, and they're flagmen. They direct traffic. But no, these guys got to get fucking double time and a half on a fucking Sunday or a holiday. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's one of the most entitled groups of fucking scumbags ever.
Earlier, we
Especially
talked
the
about
state
them,
police.
and
They
I
all
believe
ought to be executed.
the self-aggrandizing, self-entitled scum.
Yeah, they're scum.
They're scum.
And you know what?
And yeah, if you are,
Nobody owes you fucking anything, asshole.
we've done this before, and we
You chose to
deleted
become
it.
a cop. Nobody made you be a cop.
If you're a member of the Massachusetts State Police,
You should be executed.
if you're a member of the Massachusetts State Police, you have a really small penis.
Yes.
If you are a member of the Massachusetts State Police,
You love to fuck guys.
yeah,
But you haven't yet because
you know you would
all
love
pent
it.
up.
And if you're a female member of the Massachusetts State Police,
You're looking at pussy.
yeah, you definitely loin liquor, no doubt.
The
It's all about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and most likely, if you're a Massachusetts state cop, you're doing something illegal at some point during the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
yeah.
filling out a fucking fake fucking overtime
By the way,
slip.
Yeah,
Every
right.
year there's something on those cocksuckers.
There's not one of them on that whole fucking agency that is in it for altruistic reasons.
No.
None of them.
No.
It's that big of a fuck show.
They have a colonel. Colonel only lasts like a year and a half or so because the other guy wants to become a colonel so he can spend his last 3 years and maximize his fucking, colonel
Retirement fucking
retires
pay.
at 55 or 58 or something and then gets 250 grand a year for the rest of his fucking life.
Even if he gets another job.
He gets more money. He probably will live more years off the job
Oh, yeah.
than on the job.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Yep.
Colonel Cunt.
Again, though, like you said, nobody drafted him. If you can fucking do it,
Yeah, and we all got to pay for him.
Yeah, I know.
Cocksuckers.
it is what it is.
Die.
Yes.
Die with festering boils, you whore.
If you are a member of the Massachusetts State Police, you
fuck off.
you might need a fucking Power Rangers fucking step-up stool to fucking talk to somebody.
Elevator shoes.
Elevator shoes.
Did I tell you I sent a pink cock up to him?
Oh, did you really?
Old Dave, what's his name?
Don't say his last
No,
name.
I can say his name.
Don't say his last name.
Dave, fuck, no, I can't think of his last
Listen,
name.
don't
I
say
sent
it.
him a pink cock just so he would remember who I am,
Yeah.
just as for old time's sake.
How long ago was this?
It's
That you sent him the pink hawk. Was it recently?
oh yeah, that was this year.
Yeah, he's kept up. He reminds the guy. It's like a birthday card, man. It's like,
Well,
I'm thinking
no,
of you.
it had been like
I have no idea what's going on. I'm just listening.
You haven't heard the story about Bob Malone and the state cop and how Joe's made his
yeah,
life?
you heard this whole thing, didn't you?
No.
By the
All
way,
right,
how's
so
the other thing
I'm
going?
sure the audience is.
You never told me how the other thing went with Dave, and
Oh, it's
you
going,
didn't go.
It's going forward.
Oh my god!
But we knew that. That's where we thought it was going. But look, this whole thing will work itself out. It's just you have to. It'll take months,
Yeah.
and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Because they want you to go in several times. They want you to go in like 10 times,
Right.
and that way you can keep that many more judges and all the other fucking scum that has to stay there to operate the whole.
All the other trough fucking feeders.
It's the cop, court,
Yeah.
jail, jailer fucking system.
It's
All, and none of them are there because they give a fuck about the law or anything. They're just there so that they can perpetuate their own fucking job
right.
and keep their little. It's just a fucking joke. Most of the crimes that they deal with down there shouldn't be crimes. in my opinion, anyway.
It's like the fucking scumbag fucking version of the military industrial complex. You know what I mean? Not complex. What do they call that?
Military industrial complex.
Yeah. The whole court system is kind of like that. You know what I mean? It just perpetuates itself, and it's...
I'm going to try to tell this story so fucking fast.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. I have a dump trailer that I fill up with trash at the houses. I was in Florida. I called Bob Malone. Hey, would you bring that trash trailer down to the dump and dump it? The guys need it because they were drywalling a house. He goes down, and I used to go down and dump over the bridge in Bourne. He's coming back. He gets pulled over. They have a state cop truck team there. Okay? I get a call in Florida from Bob Malone. He's been pulled over. There's a little midget fucking state cop torturing him. All right? So I said, look, just tell the guy anything. I mean, just you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, if there's something wrong with a trailer, just tell him to fucking, tow it. Do whatever you got to do. So I made the mistake. I called the barracks because it was right across the street from the Rotary. That's where they had him pulled over. And I said, hey, what's going on over here? And I guess the barracks let the cop know that I had called, and then he really went crazy on Bob Malone. So they towed my trailer. Here's the deal. My trailer has supposed to have 8 lug nuts. It had 6 on it, on each wheel, okay? Because my trailer is good for 30,000 pounds. I have it registered for 10. So the 2 lug nuts make a big difference. At any rate, doesn't matter. They towed the trailer, but they tortured Bob Malone. Bob Malone was so fucked up that he said, Bob Malone's a nice guy. So, fast forward. I sent this guy a letter, which I'll let you read, which was very bad. And I sent to the Bourne Police Barracks, and because he was on the truck team, and to the the truck team is out of Concord. I sent a Power Rangers pink step stool to him down in Bourne, and to him up in, because he's a little short fuck, one of those Napoleon complex. David Palmer is his name. If you ever run into David Palmer on the state police, Massachusetts, tell him Joe Brennan said he's a cunt. So then I had 2 weeks later, I sent him both to Concord and to down in Bourne a pair of elevator shoes. Then I had the
You sent him a tricycle at one point or something?
No.
Like a big wheel.
So I had an investigator come out from the state police, because I actually filed a complaint against the guy that wasn't written with all fucks and fuck you and die. And he came out and investigated. And, of course, when the state police investigate the state police, it's really weird how they never find the guy guilty. And but then they sent from down the Cape, they sent 2 detectives to my house, because apparently anytime you send a package to one of the barracks, they have to call the bomb squad. So I said, so let me get this straight. This little fucking midget. So when the package arrives, like, I'm envisioning like all the cops standing around while the guy with the suit in the middle of the parking lot is
green mattresses
pulling the
and
pink
shit.
fucking step stool out of the box.
Looking like the Stay Puft
And I'm
Marshmallow
like,
Man.
am I envisioning this correctly while I'm laughing? And they're trying to be very serious about how you can't really, you can't be sending thing that to. I'm like, why not? I mean, it was sent from Amazon. Well, what's the goal of sending it? I'm trying to make the guy feel like he made my friend feel. Well, that's not a good thing that you're doing there. And I'm like, I don't really give a fuck what you think. So that's the whole story in a nutshell.
But that's not the one he's in trouble for.
Well,
No, I can't
No,
talk
but-
about the one
no,
I'm in
no.
trouble
But
for.
this is the guy you sent the pink dick to a couple of weeks ago,
Yes.
just to remind them that.
It's been
That he's thinking of.
6 or 7 years. I figure it's time for him to get a little update. So I sent him a pink dildo.
Did you sign it?
Well, unfortunately, Amazon doesn't have any kind of you can't sign like a little gift card. Like, hey, stick this up your ass for me. Remember the good times?
Love Joe.
Yeah. You little fucking midget.
So it's just gonna get sent to the barracks.
Yeah, but it's got his name on it. Because I
So
have,
the bomb squad will be out again.
I put on the
They know he sent it. It's easy enough to find out.
Yeah.
David, and then in parentheses, the midget, Palmer.
Brutal, right?
So I hope he fucking dies.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really do.
He
I
might be
hope
dead, by the
He
way.
should get leukemia. He
Painful.
should get some sort of a disease. And
But
he should
before he
die.
gets it,
I don't want his kids to die.
okay.
I'm done with.
How about one or two of his kids' friends? Something.
I'm done with the wishing the kids dead.
Yeah, it's bad fucking
it's- I don't
juju.
know.
Yeah, bad karma.
Bad karma, man.
But then there is something to it though, because you figured all this guy is going to raise as a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? When you think about it, what kind of kid is this guy going to raise? However, he is divorced, so maybe his wife's not. Maybe she's okay.
right.
You know, so I don't want to wish the kids dead anymore. But he can certainly die. I'd be fucking thrilled if I saw in the paper that he's dead, and not in a martyrdly way. Like, I'd love to
Right.
have him like he fell through some cracks in a storm drain because he was too short and was fucking drowned in raw sewer.
Yeah. And then run over by a subway.
Yeah.
Subway train.
Like, just
Or a big wheel.
Yeah.
Or-
A big wheel crushed him to death.
he pulled a trucker over and
The trucker fucking
attempted to
choked him with his cock.
be horrible to the trucker, and the trucker fucked him in the ass until his head exploded.
Death by Ruru. Death by Ruru. You know?
Oh, it'd be so great. I just love to read that he's dead because he's a cunt and he
Yeah.
should be killed.
Yeah, he should be.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, you gotta
I-
tell it like it
I
is.
picked a very violent night to walk back in.
It's not violence,
No,
man.
it's not violent.
Free
It's just,
speech. It's free speech.
You know what?
All right.
Cunts. Look, here's the deal. If he had pulled Bob Malone over and said, hey, this trailer's not fucking legal, we have to tow it.
Yeah, I meant to ask, what was wrong with it?
It was missing 2 lug nuts on each wheel.
On each wheel.
So it had 6 lug nuts instead of 8.
Okay.
And did it have forged paperwork?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Everything was legal. And so if he said, well, sir, your buddy's truck is fine, but the trailer, I can't let it go. It's not safe. We have to have it towed. There wouldn't be anything. None of this would happen. But he's short, and he's got a little Napoleon complex, and he's a state cop. So they're all taught like this. This is why I say this is a broken institution, because they're taught this. They're taught to be a fucking jerk.
They're Nazis.
So if they had just towed the trailer, that would have been fine. There would have been none of this. I wouldn't be upset at the guy, but he tortured a good friend of mine over nothing. Over what, fucking lug nuts missing? It's not his fault. And if I call the Barretts, that's not his fault either.
Did you have 8 stems on each?
8 stems, 2 lug nuts were missing. I got it that way. I've been using a trailer for 5 years that way. You know why? Because I couldn't find lug nuts for it because it was a weird fucking thread pattern.
All right, so it had the 8 stems.
Yeah. But
8 studs.
2 of them didn't have lug nuts.
Okay, on each tire. All right.
So it had 6 lug nuts.
Yep.
The tires weren't
Most
going
cars
anywhere.
have 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tires weren't falling off. But still, if he had just towed the thing,
Yep.
gone up to Bob, said, I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to have this trailer towed. We're going to tow it to such and such a place.
Tell your employer that's where it is, and
Tell your friend, because I just said, just tell him you're doing me a favor, which he was. And
But
that
all
would
of
have
a
been
sudden,
it.
all of a sudden, Bob fucking got a parent. You know what I mean? This guy turned.
He was fucking swearing at him, calling
Yeah.
him he was just fucking this, fucking that. I'm going to tow the whole truck. Bob said he hadn't had a drink in 10 years at that point. And he said, I was ready to drink all the beer in your cabana.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, he was just, this guy tortured him. You know how they can be. They're fucking walking around. They get their little chest puffed out. And he's just a little cunt. He's a cunt.
All right. So what have we covered tonight?
Well, let me tell you, Dad.
Now, that was pretty quick, though,
I
right?
do like, I do like when we do this. We like to recap. Sometimes I recap the last show, but I threw it out, so we're not going to do that. So tonight, let's revisit. We talked about birthdays.
Yep.
We talked about sarcasm for a little bit.
Yep.
A couple times we talked about self-aggrandizing, self-entitled scum, which I believe Joe just wrapped up the conversation on that.
Well, you know what? There's nothing like a big purple see-through dildo to sort of like take down the self-aggrandizement and entitlement.
And then
know that not all of the public is really all that afraid of you.
we talked a little bit about Tits are delicious. We talked about sniffing Joe Biden. We touched upon Gorbachev the Great briefly, but I felt that I agree with Joe. I think Mikhail Gorbachev was a great statesman, and he was an important citizen of the planet Earth.
He's going to be recognized as one of the most important people
Ever.
in civilization,
Yeah.
and of course of the 20th century.
We talked a little bit about tantruming liberals this evening. Something we talk about a lot here on Kinda Right.
Well, they do go a little crazy, don't they?
We touched upon Diane Feinstein's Chinese problem.
We never really got to the bottom of that.
All it is the FBI or whatever told her that he used to work for that the Chinese whatever foreign services, and she let him go, and that's it. Nobody knows what happened to the guy, but it's somehow just coming out now.
But the FBI didn't say, and he has
all
of your offices wired and
No. Right.
your cars wired.
She says he didn't even have access to sensitive material, and they found that he didn't.
Okay.
So it's a weird story.
But it could be much ado about nothing.
Yeah, it is. Then we talked about the wildly driven, which is I've never put it as a note, but we talk about it enough. The wildly driven.
You have to have the
Ivana
wildly
Trunk.
Huh?
Ivana Trunk.
Yeah, we talked about her too.
You have to have the wildly driven. It's a necessity in our society.
It is, absolutely.
Even though I am not part of the wildly driven.
I mean, I am so far from wildly driven. What I'm wildly
But you
driven to
need
be is not be wildly driven. All right? That's
You
what I'm
need
putting
those
effort
people
into.
that They want to work 18 hours a day
No.
and they want to set the world
How
on
about
fire.
7
and
days a week? 7 days a week, people are working.
These startup company guys, I'm telling you, they work their ass off.
Not for me.
Just work great. My daughter says they work crazy hours. They are there 7 days a week.
We talked a little bit about denial is not just a river in Egypt. We talked a little about denial. We talked about Macaulay Culkin is a him.
Yes, we know that.
Yeah, well, you said that Macaulay Culkin is a him. I thought that was interesting.
Well, because you call them she.
Oh, I know.
Always stirring it up.
That's fine. We talked a little bit about Joe Rogan and, other podcasters. We talked a little about Joe.
Well,
I like to put Joe in there
Rogan
because
is my
it's like a tag when I put Joe Rogan in there. And
Adam Carolla, Joe Rogan. I've started listening to, and it was pretty much the inspiration for us to do this. I'm like, I think we could do that. Why don't Al and I do that?
not that they're bad at it, they're very good at it.
No, they're great at it.
Yeah. We're not saying we're as good as that.
No,
We're certainly not as famous. I'll tell
We're
you
not
that right
famous.
now.
We're starting off with no notoriety,
And no listeners. I mean, that's fine.
but it takes time.
It does, and
Listeners are coming.
even though we've been doing this officially a calendar year, Dad. August 10th,
He
2017.
keeps saying that.
It's
but
on there. Look, you changed the names of everything. Did you keep the old file names on
Here's
something
the
else?
deal.
August 10th, 2017 was the first time we recorded something.
We didn't put anything on until November.
Yeah, but we recorded a lot.
So it doesn't matter when we
It's the
record
beta
it.
stage,
It
man.
matters when we put something
Listen,
on the
just
show.
as many people are not listening to us as to those.
That's not true.
Fucking trust me. We talked
We have
about
20 followers now. 20.
we talked about free speech, and we wrapped it up with David Palmer as a cunt.
How long have we been on the air?
You know, it's been an hour and 45. We got started late because of technical issues, and we took a break, which we haven't been doing. And but you know, we're not getting a 2.5 hour show in tonight. It's not happening. I got fucking
You
shit
look like
to do.
you're getting drained. Are you ready to wrap it up?
Can
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, go ahead, Dad.
I-
Whatever
I-
you want. Go ahead.
I just want to say hi to my son, David.
Hi, Dave.
Dave listens to the show.
Call me, brother.
He does. He's
He-
a loyal listener.
He is. And I want to say hi to Chris the landscaper.
I do too. I haven't seen Chris in a long time. Hi, Chris.
Yeah,
Hell of a guy.
He doesn't listen.
he doesn't listen.
Oh, you told me he listened.
I lied.
Oh, I believed you.
That's how I get.
What I sent out, because I sent these,
And
sent
hello,
these little
Leanne.
things. There's little things.
Oh,
that I
I'll read
noticed.
that. Yeah, let's do that, and then I'll talk about what we didn't talk about. So we
There's little things.
everybody settle in for another 20 minutes. Who needs a beer?
I need a beer.
Need a beer?
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'll let you read the thing first, and then I'll.
You gotta talk while I fucking get
Well,
beer.
What I say to Al, because I pay way more attention to the numbers than he does. Now, everything that I've read for people that we're nobodies. You know, we have no fame.
Right.
We didn't get off a sitcom and then start a podcast.
You're two guys doing something you enjoy.
So
like mental patients.
there are people,
Like mental patients.
people that stick with it. Most of the people have no listeners for 18 months that start like we do. Now, we have great audio. Yeah, this is very hard to say, but we are 100% genuine. There's no bullshit here. We talk about everything. Pretty much anything's. We talk about our not that our lives are exciting, but we talk about shit that's probably somewhat
Talk about
interesting
current
to some
events.
people. I like to put because sometimes you put conservative stuff.
Oh, that's an extra talk, but we're current
I
events.
don't like to do that. I
We're a
like
current event
either
show.
current events or comedy, because I like to think of it as comedy.
Did you send me a text or an
So
email?
we're somewhat email. So
I'm not finding it.
and I think we have an interesting take, and I think
here
it's fun. Or what I've been told is it's
So
fun.
Joe sent me
But
this.
Slowly, it's growing.
This is what Joe wrote to me. Joe is a letter writer, by the way, as
Well,
you know.
This was just a
Joe wrote me a letter.
thing of thoughts.
I have a couple of Joe's letters I've kept. I've kept not an original, but I have his. He wrote a thing on Scalia that was brilliant, and I have it in my papers with my will. Joe made that was a beautiful piece of writing. Anyway,
I don't remember that.
I have it. You don't remember it?
Not really, no.
Yeah, you wrote about
Probably
when
why
Scalia got
right.
murdered.
Nah. Yeah. So I really enjoy the podcast, Joe says. It's much more fun than building, and it's mentally healthy. I don't know about that. I've been following the numbers much more than I should. April and May had the same amount of listens, around 430. June was about 400, and July was less. That could be summer months, lack of new shows, whatever, who knows. Yeah, it's lacking new shows. The number of followers is increasing. I think there are a lot of people who will follow. There's a difference between followers and listeners.
I
There's
understand.
a lot of people who follow us with the hopes we follow them. So followers was under
Or
10.
talk about them.
Yeah, so it was under 10 for a long time. It would go up to 9, down to 5. Oh, well, I never talk about anyone who followed. Over the last 2 months, we've gained followers who I think listen to the show. It's slow going, but we have 19 followers. It may drop a bit, but the trend is up. All of this is, and he discovered that I didn't make the shows downloadable, and
Used to be that people would download podcasts onto their,
And they don't do it. You have an app.
but now they can listen right off of the phone from the SoundCloud or from iTunes or anything.
All right.
But none of
Stitcher.
our shows were downloadable.
I listen to us on TuneIn. That's what I put on
Yeah.
your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't listen just
But
on
downloads,
SoundCloud.
I guess, are not. People don't download anymore, or very little. But you couldn't download our shows because we didn't. There was a little tag.
All of this is wildly premature, and as a biased observer, I probably see things that are not there. That being said, for two nobodies, building a base of listeners is hard because we have no notoriety, something we've talked about. So just on point, he basically recited you. Other than last night, I find the show gets easier to do. He said that because Tuesday he shit the bed early. And that's
We were
fine.
both dragging though.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I was dragging.
I listened to a couple of Joe Rogan shows back in the 300s. Compared to today, he was pretty awful. His audio wasn't as good as ours, and his video was lacking. Our video is fucking, by definition, lacking.
We have no video.
Our audio is great. We're 100% genuine, and there's a little shtick. But yeah, we're pretty genuine. I do a lot of shtick, by the way.
You suck a lot of stick.
Yeah. And our view of things is edgy, funny. I really believe
That's for sure.
we will make good numbers, which will allow us to attract guests that we couldn't get with what we have now.
Right.
Or at least this is what I want to believe. So there it is. We keep doing it, have some fun, be somewhat consistent, and we'll keep growing. Sounds like fun.
What I find is, here's what's interesting. So for like 6 months,
That was a pep talk.
there's a lot of these people, and he reads the messages because he has the email address and shit, which I think I can get at, but I don't.
I gave you the login.
I know, but we would get like a couple of followers, but they would have something that they're trying to promote.
Right.
I mean, they're not listening. They're not following us, and maybe they thought we were bigger than we are. I don't know. You promote us, we'll promote you, and it's like we don't want anything to do with that. So the followers go up, and then they would go down, and they'll go up, and breaking 10 was not happening. But then slowly you see and like I said, it's way premature to do this because the numbers is, I'm talking about 20 people. But now we seem to be like gaining a follower who is a listener, and listens to some shows. And we've got 20 of those now. And that's only in the last 2 months. Now, maybe half of them are going to go away and we'll be back to 10. And maybe in 18 months, we'll have 11 people listening. And this could go nowhere.
That's why there's very little photographic evidence of the show, because we don't want to scare people away.
Right. But the thing
We
is,
don't even have a
that
Facebook
it takes a
page
long
anymore.
time to organically, because you figure how many people, one out of how many, you got to get somebody that's got time to listen to something.
Yep.
So they're either in a car or they're sitting at a desk and they've some background. There's the competition. But I think if you stay with it and you stay somewhat, you can't be phony, and that's one of the things I don't think we're not here pretending that we're something we're not.
No.
And we talk about real issues and, how it affects us. And
So things we didn't talk about tonight that I wanted to get to, if you want
we
to comment
swear a
briefly.
lot. Sometimes we're
Yep.
pretty funny.
Sumner Redstone is in a competency fucking situation. You know about this?
What is he, 90?
He's fucking old, man.
You'd think he'd want to just fucking go somewhere and die.
We know somebody who used to work for him, semi-directly.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? Anyway, he's people are trying to say he's incompetent and get at his shit.
Probably his daughter,
That dude,
Sherry.
that guy Bill Gross from Janus. Janus has lost $1 billion.
Who's Janice Fund?
The Henderson Global Unconstrained Bond Fund. And our boy, who we like, we talk about the widely driven, but we also like guys who are fucking forward thinkers. Elon Musk has SEC problems.
Oh, what a surprise.
No, he doesn't, though.
They're
They
probing
said-
his claim that he has the money to privatize the thing.
Sounds
like
he
they're
said
fucking with
some
him.
shit on Twitter, and you're not supposed
Talk
to
about
talk about
overregulation, man.
You're not supposed. Well,
Free
no, I mean,
speech
it
and
makes it-
overregulation. There it is again.
If you're a public company, you're not supposed to go, "Hey,
We're going to go private.
on Twitter,
That's kind of
we're
insider
fucking
trading.
we're on fire. Buy our fucking stock." You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
And then, it's the old, you could do. Elon Musk is not doing the old pump and dump thing.
No.
One of the most amazing visionaries of our time, and who knows? He's not done. I don't even think is he 50? I don't even think he's 50.
No, he's my brother's age. He's 48.
Jesus Christ, the guy's got a car company, a rocket company. He built the biggest grid storage battery in Australia ever built. I mean, the guy's incredible.
And then the last thing that we didn't talk
Wants to
about.
put trains underneath the,
Yeah, yeah.
in air tubes and shit.
And I only find this interesting because, A, I'm into soccer, and I'm into history, and I've always admired guys who were at one time or another were the best at what they've done. And sports is an easy way to quantify that. And certainly the first person that if you think soccer player, you think of Pele. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Pele was the first. He was Muhammad Ali for a little while. You know what I mean? That's how fucking popular
Yeah,
he was. Not
yeah.
necessarily here, but when he came to New York in the 70s, late 70s, at the end of his
Everybody
career,
knew who he was.
he was a household name. All right,
Yeah,
I had a
yeah.
Pele lunchbox. All right, so during that era,
When I think of soccer, I think of boredom.
so when he was with the New York Cosmos in '77 through like '80 or whatever.
Who,
In-
Pele?
yeah, in '79 he bought a fucking ranch in the Hamptons for $156,000.
Oh, God.
He later expanded it into a 2-story, 3,400 square foot spread, which is nice.
Yeah.
And
How much?
he's down the street from the
$270 million.
No. Take a better guess.
$153 million.
No, 2.85 million. That's still a lot more than 156,000. It's not that huge a house. It's 3,400 square feet.
No, usually it's the land. They tear the house right down.
Apparently the house is cool. Yeah, you're right. Whoever bought it, it doesn't say that, but you're right. That motherfucker might be getting ripped down. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, he sold it for 2.85, and the person who bought it is already trying to sell it for 3.25. They're trying to flip it. They're trying to make a quick fucking 400 grand. You know what I mean?
Those, and I don't know I don't know what the Hamptons, is that a town? Is there an East Hampton?
Yeah.
Long Island.
I know it's Long
Yeah.
Island, but I don't know whether the
Eastern Long
Hamptons are
Yeah, there's-
East and West
Yes,
Hampton.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But apparently there's houses there that are hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, Sturny Dizzle's got a $120 million joint there.
And Lloyd Blankfein, who is the head of Goldman Sachs, who made like, $25 million. No, he made like $50 million like the year that Goldman Sachs basically destroyed the economy.
2008.
He and his horrendous, horrid wife that ought to be executed lived there.
Right. So what do you think, Joe? Can we get the fuck out of here or what?
Yeah.
So
call it.
We had a good time. We got our. I was shooting for 2.5. We got 2 hours. That was fucking pretty good.
I was saving up steam because you
You
kept
did good.
saying 2.5 hours.
No, you got more than 2 hours. We didn't start at 7.
Yeah,
It's 9 o'clock.
yeah. By the time the music's in, it'll be 2 hours and 2 minutes or 3.
All right.
We're still below 4.
Okay.
So anyway, good
night, everybody.
Everybody have a really nice weekend. Dad, thanks for coming.
My
Joe,
pleasure.
Thanks, Pops.
Always a good time.
happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Happy birthday,
and
Joseph.
May you have many more.
Well, you know what? That's the thing that becomes questionable at this age. You don't know whether you're going to have a next one.
But just the other day, you were saying you were pretty comfortable with at least the idea of the last
I like
third of
being
your life.
older because there's every year it's like closer to not having to be on this fucking awful planet.
As fucking Artie Lang once said, just waiting for the sweet release of death. The sweet release of death.
And I think I may have said this here at least once before. The other advantage of getting older is life in prison isn't that big a threat anymore.
Right. You can really seriously think about killing somebody.
Yeah, and go
You wanna
like,
get
you know
rid of
what? If it's only going to be another 20, 22 years, 3 square meals a day, I'll probably get some sleep.
Right.
23
You know what I mean?
hours to myself in the cell every day.
There was one of these financial crimes
I'll probably
guy
lose weight,
that went to jail.
work out, I'll look great.
And he said he's never been so stress-free in his life. And I forget which.
Because he went to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, because he's got no responsibility other than he's got to get up and they just tell you what to do. It's real easy.
There you go. All right, David, one more time. I love you, man.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Joe, bye-bye. See you. Have a
Hey.
good weekend, everybody.
If you're a listener, tell a friend.
Yeah.
If you're not a listener, tell a friend.
Kind of right at yahoo.com, kind of right at yahoo.com, kind of right at yahoo.com.
And we don't have a website,
Yet,
but we will.
eventually, when we can afford to pay someone to make one.
Right, because neither one of us are going to do it.
Not happening. All right, that's it, Joe.
Hey, good night.
Good night.